Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement regarding a trade. This is absurd. It's unbelievable, folks. We made it to the NBA Finals. Why on earth are we letting go of our top player? I initially dismissed it as misinformation. The NBA promotes genuine health, no doubt. Trades can happen to anyone, and everyone's on the table. Have you ever witnessed an NBA trade so shocking that it left you questioning their logic? The league's past brims with headline-grabbing transactions, yet not everyone pan out as intended. Certain trades can redefine teams, whereas others confound fans and experienced commentators alike. In examining the most shocking trades in NBA lore, we encounter an array of bewildering blunders and substantial splurges. Let's explore the standout deals that sent shockwaves through the basketball community, starting with the contentious 2025 trade, Luka to the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA has witnessed astonishing trades, yet none struck quite like the blockbuster exchange of Luka for Anthony Davis. This deal wasn't merely shocking. It was an unexpected upheaval. There were no prior hints, no whispers, no enigmatic social media posts, just a stunning agreement that erupted in the quiet of night, catching fans and experts off guard and reeling to comprehend the implications. In one swift move, Los Angeles and Dallas exchanged their pivotal stars, instantly altering the dynamics of the league. Doncic, the dazzling Slovenian, had emerged as the emblematic star of the Mavericks, a rare talent poised to guide them for the next 10 years. Davis, the Lakers' defensive powerhouse, had already secured a championship with LeBron James, and both were under contract without any hints of a trade request. Yet, in just a few astonishing moments, the trajectory of their careers and the NBA's landscape shifted dramatically. For the Lakers, Doncic symbolized a new era, the emerging superstar tasked with upholding the proud tradition of the purple and gold. For Dallas, it represented a risk, choosing to swap an offensive virtuoso for a defensive stalwart, transforming their essence in an instant. Online platforms exploded, supporters were left in disbelief, and commentators scrutinized the ramifications for days on end. This trade was a clear reminder of why the NBA captivates its audience. It wasn't the sole transaction that reshaped the league's future. LeBron James' journey to the Miami Heat stands as one of the most contentious and dramatic shifts in NBA lore, marking his exit from Cleveland in 2010. The notorious special broadcasted nationwide, The Decision, featured James declare, "I'm bringing my skills to South Beach," he announced, creating a stir in the basketball community. Although often viewed as a free agency saga, it was actually a sign-and-trade arrangement. Cleveland got 2 first-round selections and 2 second-round picks for their locally developed star. James became a rival, swiftly moving to the Heat, joining the league's most examined squad alongside fellow All-Stars Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Championship aspirations reached a peak of either glory or failure. Columnist Mike LaPresti was blunt, insisting they must dominate the competition without mercy. Meanwhile, Miami's Dan LeBron praised LeBron's unselfishness, emphasizing his focus on securing titles rather than chasing individual awards or hefty salaries. The initial season was tumultuous. Miami charged into the finals, only to be unexpectedly defeated by Dirk Nowitzki's Dallas Mavericks in a shocking turn of events. Critics quickly surfaced, questioning if James possessed the clutch mentality, yet it was through struggle that he achieved greatness. He silenced the naysayers by steering the Heat to consecutive championships in 2012 and 2013, solidifying his status among the sport's elite. The stakes soared with superstars trading places. Few transactions were as impactful as Anthony Davis's shift to the Los Angeles Lakers. Prior to the major trade that eventually sent him to the Mavericks, Davis's 2019 transition to the Lakers was among the most pivotal in modern NBA history. After enduring years in New Orleans, the generational talent insisted on moving to Hollywood, where the Lakers were eager to join forces with LeBron James. The cost was high, as Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and a wealth of draft selections were dealt to the Pelicans. Yet the Lakers understood they were acquiring a shot at glory. From the instant Davis entered the league and graced the court in purple and gold, the stakes were immense. This transcended a mere partnership. It was the foundation of a dynasty. Davis's presence turned the Lakers from playoff contenders into champions in waiting, and he exceeded all expectations, showcasing defensive skill, offensive range, and timely plays that complemented LeBron's genius perfectly. United, they propelled the Lakers to victory in the 2020 NBA Championship at the Orlando Bubble, a triumph that solidified Davis's legacy and leveled the championship count between the Lakers and the Celtics in league history. The trade was a risk, yet for the Lakers, it turned out to be a risk that yielded spectacular rewards. While the Lakers' bet on Davis proved fruitful, they weren't the sole team making daring decisions. Meanwhile, another superstar was gearing up for a new chapter that would revolutionize the basketball scene. Kobe Bryant joining the Los Angeles Lakers. During the 1996 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers made a daring decision that would change the course of their history. The Charlotte Hornets chose 17-year-old Kobe Bryant as the 13th pick, with plans to trade him to the Lakers in exchange for veteran center Vlade Divac. Choosing a high school athlete was seen as a risky venture since many doubted the readiness of such players for the professional level. Bryant recognized this doubt, commenting, "I'm aware that my youth will raise questions. It's a big unknown for many." It quickly became clear that Bryant embodied an exceptional mix of skill, dedication, and charm. Partnering with the legendary center Shaquille O'Neal, who arrived at the Lakers shortly after Bryant, they forged a formidable alliance that secured 3 straight NBA titles between 2000 and 2002. Bryant's unwavering passion and fierce competitiveness won him the admiration of fans and cemented his legacy as one of basketball's greatest players. Throughout his remarkable 20-year journey with the Lakers, he achieved 5 NBA championships, 2 Finals MVP awards, and a regular season MVP honor in 2008. This acquisition not only elevated the Lakers to a dominant force, but also reshaped the NBA dynamic. What began as a risky decision to trade for a teenage talent ultimately emerged as one of the most lauded and impactful trades in NBA history. As Kobe Bryant's influence expanded in Los Angeles, the Lakers faced a crucial choice that would forever change the landscape of the NBA, parting with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal joining the Miami Heat was a foregone conclusion for many in Los Angeles. The growing rift between these two icons left the Lakers management with no other option but to take definitive action. Ultimately, they opted to center their efforts around Bryant, trading O'Neal to the Miami Heat in a monumental deal that netted Lamar Odom, Karen Butler, and a future first-round draft selection. A stunning decision reverberated through the NBA, dismantling one of the league's most formidable pairs and altering the title race. For Miami, it was a bold risk that yielded extraordinary rewards. Shaquille, still formidable in the later stages of his prime, became the essential element alongside an emerging and dynamic Dwayne Wade. Together, they propelled the Heat through the Eastern Conference, ultimately seizing the franchise's inaugural NBA championship in 2006, with Shaq adding a 4th ring to his collection. Meanwhile, the Lakers shifted focus to rebuild around Bryant, faced early challenges, but eventually reclaimed their footing. This transaction was about more than merely adjusting lineups. It marked a pivotal shift for both organizations. Shaquille brought a wealth of championship knowledge to Miami, securing a long-desired championship, while the Lakers, through strategic patience and thoughtful reconstruction, cultivated a new dynasty centered around Bryant. As one period of supremacy concluded, an exciting new chapter began, a daring trade that turned an emerging star into a franchise cornerstone. James Harden to the Houston Rockets. The Oklahoma City Thunder had a formidable trio in Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. However, just prior to the 2012-13 season, an unexpected move was made. The team dealt Harden to the Houston Rockets due to a contract disagreement worth only $4.5 million. At that moment, Harden had recently earned the 6th Man of the Year title and was instrumental in OKC's journey to the NBA Finals. In return, the Thunder acquired Kevin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, and future draft selections, one of which eventually turned into Steven Adams. However, Martin and Lamb struggled to mirror Harden's scoring prowess. In Texas, Harden flourished into an MVP, a consistent scoring leader, and one of the most dazzling offensive players in NBA lore. He transformed the Rockets into a constant playoff threat, guiding them through numerous deep playoff runs. The decision made by OKC lingered painfully for years. Retaining Harden could have prolonged the Thunder's championship pursuit, potentially creating one of the most formidable dynasties in modern NBA history. In contrast, fans watched as their star-studded trio fell apart, leaving speculation about missed opportunities. The trade involving Harden significantly altered Houston's trajectory, while the Paul George blockbuster sent ripples throughout the league, transforming the destinies of 2 teams in an instant. Paul George headed to the Los Angeles Clippers. During the summer of 2017, the NBA landscape was upended by a surprise deal that took everyone by surprise. Paul George, a cornerstone of the Indiana Pacers and one of the league's top two-way players, was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. In exchange, Indiana acquired Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, 2 promising young talent seen as solid, yet not game-changers. For the Thunder, it was a daring gamble, teaming Paul George with Russell Westbrook, the previous season's MVP, and seasoned scorer Carmelo Anthony. Oklahoma City sought to create a formidable super team in the West, poised to compete against the dominance of the Golden State Warriors. The excitement was palpable. George's joining made the Thunder immediate contenders, but even with moments of brilliance, the trio struggled to find their rhythm. Following 2 seasons, highlighted by a gut-wrenching first-round defeat against Damian Lillard's unforgettable buzzer beater, George sought a trade, initiating a rebuild for Oklahoma City. Ironically, as the Thunder's aspirations for a championship dwindled, the Pacers flourished. Oladipo transformed into an all-star, while Sabonis developed into a formidable presence in the paint. A deal once considered heavily biased toward OKC evolved into one of Indiana's most crucial acquisitions for their future. Although George's stint in Oklahoma was short-lived, it was marked by soaring hopes, letdowns, and lingering uncertainties. A trade that shook the NBA to its core. As the Thunder's daring decision reverberated through the league, the dynamics changed once more with Kyrie Irving's arrival in Boston. Kyrie Irving to the Boston Celtics. In the summer of 2017, the NBA world was rocked when Kyrie Irving, coming off 3 straight finals appearances and a title with the Cavaliers, sought a trade to step out from under LeBron James' influence. Irving's courageous choice created waves across the league. In an effort to stay competitive, the Cavaliers executed a major trade, sending Kyrie Irving to the Boston Celtics in return for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Andy Zizic, and the highly sought-after unprotected first-round pick from the Brooklyn Nets in 2018. For Boston, landing Irving was a significant step toward their championship goals. Alongside newly acquired Gordon Hayward, they envisioned a powerful roster ready to take over the Eastern Conference. Yet, their collaboration hit a serious snag early on. Hayward endured a devastating injury in the opening game of the season, while Irving's year was abruptly cut short due to knee surgery, which left him out of the playoff run. Incredibly, the young Celtics still managed to reach Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals without their leading point guard. In the next season, hopes were high due to Irving's comeback. Although he openly vowed to stay with Boston, the squad struggled with erratic play and internal conflicts. Ultimately, they faced a disappointing second-round playoff defeat, leading Irving to leave for the Brooklyn Nets in the summer of 2019. His transition changed the dynamics of 2 franchises, while the NBA landscape shifted once more when a former MVP united with the Sacramento Kings, further redefining competitive equality. Chris Webber to Sacramento Kings. In 1998, the Sacramento Kings made a game-changing transaction, bringing Chris Webber on board from the Washington Wizards, trading away Mitch Richmond and Otis Thorpe. At that moment, Webber was perceived as an exceptional, yet puzzling talent, and he wasn't overly enthusiastic about relocating to Sacramento, a franchise with a limited track record of triumph. However, what transpired next was one of the most extraordinary revivals in NBA lore. Webber swiftly emerged as the cornerstone of a Kings team that revolutionized basketball in the early 2000s. His standout abilities in passing, scoring, and rebounding transformed Sacramento into a true contender in the Western Conference. The apex of the Webber chapter unfolded in 2001, as the Kings achieved an impressive 61 victories and extended the formidable Los Angeles Lakers to a grueling 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. Sacramento stood on the threshold of the NBA Finals until a contentious Game 6, often regarded as one of the most hotly debated officiating displays ever, shattered their hopes for a championship. While the Kings never made it to the Finals, Webber's influence elevated them from obscurity to a constant contender. His effect on Sacramento was profound, marking this trade as one of the most pivotal in NBA history. Just as Webber's entrance sparked a franchise revival, another superstar's transition to a major market fueled aspirations of championship glory. Carmelo Anthony joins the New York Knicks. In February 2011, the NBA was abuzz with a monumental trade that transferred superstar Carmelo Anthony from the Denver Nuggets to the New York Knicks. This complex transaction, involving 3 teams and a dozen players, was designed to revitalize a Knicks franchise desperate for success in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks sacrificed a considerable segment of their lineup, including Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton, Danilo Gallinari, Timothy Mozgov, and several draft selections to acquire Anthony's elite scoring ability. Joining forces with all-star Amare Stoudemire, they aim to bring the Knicks back to their former glory. During the 2012 to 2013 NBA season, Anthony topped the scoring charts, driving the team to a total of 54 victories, their best in over 10 years. Yet, the quest for a championship was still elusive. The significant cost of the trade constrained the Knicks' ability to form a strong supporting lineup around Anthony. Looking back on that trade, it is considered one of the most pivotal moments in NBA history, altering the futures of both teams involved. Though Anthony wowed fans at Madison Square Garden with unforgettable performances, the elusive championship title remained just out of reach. Meanwhile, as the Knicks aimed for revival by bringing Anthony on board, another team pulled off a groundbreaking trade, acquiring Kevin Garnett for the Boston Celtics. In the summer of 2007, the Celtics made headlines by securing Garnett from the Minnesota Timberwolves, a pivotal move that would alter the course of the franchise. To land the all-star powerhouse, Boston offered a significant package featuring Al Jefferson, Ryan Gomez, Gerald Green, Theo Ratliff, Sebastian Telfair, and 2 first-round draft selections to Minnesota. This daring strategy, coupled with the prior acquisition of precise shooter Ray Allen, established a formidable trio with veteran Celtic Paul Pierce. Garnett's entry into Boston created an instant and significant transformation. Renowned for his defensive skills, passion, and leadership, he infused a culture of victory into the squad. The revitalized Celtics exhibited exceptional teamwork, concluding the regular season from 2007 to 2008 with an outstanding 66-16 record, marking a 42-game enhancement from the year before. Their supremacy carried on into the playoffs, climaxing with a commanding win over the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals, earning the franchise its 17th championship. Garnett's move was far more than a transaction. It was a proclamation, a guide on how key player collaborations could transform the league's landscape. His imprint on Boston endures eternally, a symbol of how one trade can redefine the game. As the Celtics savored their well-deserved victory, another game-changing trade had already secured its place in the annals. Vince Carter's shift to the New Jersey Nets. In the history of the NBA, few trades have generated as much thrill and expectation as the monumental exchange that brought Vince Carter to the Nets. On December 17, 2004, the Toronto Raptors sent their airborne sensation to the Nets, receiving Alonzo Mourning, Aaron Williams, Eric Williams, and 2 first-round draft selections in return. Vince Carter, celebrated for his jaw-dropping dunks and scoring acumen, quickly adapted to the Nets system, teaming up with the explosive Jason Kidd and sharpshooter Richard Jefferson. This trio became a powerful force, promising to enhance the team's performance significantly. Carter made an immediate and substantial impression, averaging an outstanding 27.5 points per game in his first season with the Nets, reigniting the team's offensive spark and thrilling fans with his acrobatic displays. Even with Carter's outstanding contributions energizing the team, the ultimate goal, the sought-after NBA championship, continued to slip out of reach. The Nets encountered formidable rivals during the playoffs. Although they frequently displayed grit and skill, they couldn't overcome the formidable obstacles presented by the dominant teams of the time. Still, Carter's time with the Nets cemented his status as one of the top players in the league and made a lasting impact on the team's legacy. As Carter breathed new life into the Nets, the Lakers were preparing for a transformative shift of their own. Pau Gasol joining the Los Angeles Lakers. The deal that sent Pau Gasol to the Los Angeles Lakers in 2008 stands as a monumental coup that altered the course of the NBA. In a trade that left everyone in disbelief, the Lakers secured the talented Spaniard from the Memphis Grizzlies, a transaction labeled by many as a steal. In exchange, they parted with Kwame Brown, Javers Crittenton, and a few future draft selections. Gasol's entry breathed new life into the Lakers, blending his skill, adaptability, and court vision with Kobe Bryant's fierce determination. The outcome? A dynasty revitalized. Gasol was instrumental in guiding the Lakers to 3 straight NBA Finals from 2008 to 2010, creating a partnership with Bryant that blended grace with efficacy. Although they were defeated by the Boston Celtics in 2008, Gasol's strength and talent shone brightly in the subsequent seasons, leading to back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010. His prowess in the paint, ability to orchestrate the offense, and skill in uplifting his teammates perfectly complemented Bryant's intense scoring prowess. This trade was not just a victory for the Lakers. It marked a monumental change that altered the power dynamics within the NBA. Just as Gasol's joining the Lakers heralded a transformative phase for the franchise, another impactful trade was on the horizon for the Clippers with Chris Paul's arrival soon after. Chris Paul joins the Los Angeles Clippers. In December 2011, a pivotal moment for the franchise occurred with the acquisition of the superstar point guard, Chris Paul, from the New Orleans Hornets. Although Paul was originally slated for a trade to the Los Angeles Lakers, NBA Commissioner David Stern infamously blocked the transaction. Taking advantage of the situation, the Clippers quickly stepped in, offering Eric Gordon, Chris Cummon, Al-Farouq Aminu, and a first-round pick in 2012 to the Hornets for the exceptional floor general. Paul's entry ignited the thrilling Lob City phase, characterized by spectacular dunks and an exhilarating style of play. With Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan by his side, he transformed the Clippers into a captivating team, guiding them to 6 consecutive playoff appearances. However, despite their regular season success, the Clippers could not secure a championship, consistently stumbling in the conference semifinals. Various injuries and fierce rivals disrupted their postseason journeys. His influence established the groundwork for a revamped Clippers basketball era, demonstrating that in a league dominated by giants, one individual can make a monumental impact. At the same time, while the Clippers were climbing, another monumental change had taken place in the chronicles of the Houston Rockets. Charles Barkley joining the Houston Rockets. Eager to restore their dominance in the NBA, the Houston Rockets executed a daring and controversial decision in the summer of 1996. Following their near miss for a 3rd straight title, the team created a buzz throughout the league by letting go of their youthful foundation. Robert Torre, Sam Cassell, Shaq. The Houston Rockets made a significant trade, sending Brown and Mark Bryant in exchange for the legendary Charles Barkley. A former MVP known for his unmatched charisma and competitive spirit, Barkley added grit, knowledge, and an unyielding desire to triumph. Joining forces with Hakeem alongside Juwan and Clyde Drexler, the team was now a potential powerhouse featuring 3 future Hall of Famers. Nonetheless, this shift carried repercussions. The trade considerably impacted Houston's depth, casting doubt on the synergy that had previously driven their championship success. Barkley's entry sparked enthusiasm at first, but injuries and age hampered the team's performance. In 1997, the Rockets reached the Western Conference Finals yet succumbed to the Utah Jazz, sealing their championship aspirations sooner than anticipated. Despite the letdown, the trade for Barkley stands as one of the most striking in NBA lore, a high-stakes gamble that ultimately didn't succeed. Prior to Barkley's bold move to Houston, the NBA had already felt the tremors of a monumental trade, sending an extraordinary talent into the spotlight of Los Angeles. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the Lakers. On March 14, 1975, the Milwaukee Bucks faced a narrow defeat against the Lakers by a single point, but the true news broke post-game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a towering figure among basketball legends, made it clear he wished to be traded, citing reasons beyond the sport. "I lack family and friends in Milwaukee," he confessed. "This city doesn't resonate with me. It's not a criticism of the place or its residents. Socially and culturally, I simply don't belong in Milwaukee." The Bucks had no option but to fulfill his demand. 3 months on, they traded him and Walt Wesley to the Lakers. It was a significant cost, but for Los Angeles, it was entirely justified. Abdul-Jabbar swiftly changed the Lakers' fortunes, capturing consecutive MVP titles in his initial 2 years. Throughout 14 seasons, he guided the Lakers to 5 titles, securing his status as one of basketball's legendary personalities. While Abdul-Jabbar's move to Los Angeles sent shockwaves through the league, Wilt Chamberlain's earlier trade to the Lakers had already laid the groundwork for how one exceptional player could transform team. Wilt Chamberlain's transition to the Los Angeles Lakers marked a pivotal NBA event. It was the inaugural instance of a reigning MVP being traded merely 1 year after receiving the accolade. After 3 straight MVP awards and securing an NBA championship with the Philadelphia 76ers, Chamberlain was unexpectedly traded for cash and a couple of role players, a decision that seemed irrational due to his sheer greatness. For the Lakers, this trade was transformative, combining Wilt's incredible athleticism on defense with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor's talents. The team immediately became a formidable championship contender. Although the initial seasons didn't culminate in a title, Chamberlain's influence was clear. His arrival significantly reshaped the Lakers' persona. In 1972, he became the cornerstone of one of the most legendary teams in NBA history. That season, the Lakers achieved an incredible feat, winning 33 straight games and concluding their journey with a championship, where Wilt was honored as Finals MVP for his unselfish contributions and defensive prowess. This trade represented more than just adding a star. It was an investment in a legacy. Chamberlain's presence was instrumental in forging the Lakers' dominance, paving the way for years of triumph. Though his tenure was brief, the impact of this one exceptional player would indelibly transform the future of the franchise. Kawhi Leonard's arrival in Toronto marked a pivotal moment in the NBA in 2018 as the San Antonio Spurs orchestrated a major trade, dispatching Leonard alongside Danny Green to the Raptors for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a first-round draft selection. The deal initially faced criticism. DeRozan, a cherished figure and key player in Toronto, contrasted sharply with Leonard, who was recovering from an injury-riddled season and had only 1 year remaining on his contract. Many questioned the wisdom of this risk, but what ensued was truly remarkable. Even while battling persistent injury issues, he showcased one of the most memorable playoff displays in NBA history. His stunning Game 7 buzzer beater against the Philadelphia 76ers, coupled with his commanding finals performance against the Golden State Warriors, propelled the Raptors to their inaugural championship. His presence not only revolutionized the franchise, but also secured Toronto's legacy in basketball history. What was once perceived as a high-stakes gamble in a trade evolved into a brilliant strategy that reshaped a franchise once plagued by playoff failures into champions. Although Leonard departed for the Clippers in free agency, his legacy remains timeless. He turned the Raptors into champions, securing his legacy in NBA history. While Leonard's move to Toronto was a daring gamble that paid off handsomely, the Chicago Bulls opted for a different type of bet by bringing in Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman joined the Chicago Bulls. Rodman was a living paradox, a dominant force on the boards, and an unpredictable personality off the court. Already known as a rebounding powerhouse and one of the toughest defenders around, his eccentric behavior became a challenge for team executives. After a painful playoff defeat to the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs had enough, trading him to the Chicago Bulls for center Will Perdue. The decision was received with shock of a negative sort. Detractors, such as Chicago Tribune writer Bernie Linscomb, sharply criticized the trade, likening Rodman to notorious personalities like Ty Ford Mary and Charles Manson. "I could elaborate, but that's a solid lineup to consider," Linscomb noted. Nonetheless, amidst the doubt, Bulls coach Phil Jackson recognized opportunity. "We're merely aiming to take some calculated risks with the team to position them for a championship," he stated, hopeful yet measured. One opportunity it became. Rodman, with his tireless spirit and fierce determination, filled the final gap for a Bulls squad already under the leadership of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. His presence energized Chicago's pursuit of supremacy, aiding the Bulls in clinching 3 straight NBA championships from 1996 to 1998. As Rodman's entry revitalized an already formidable team, Steve Nash's transition to the Dallas Mavericks laid the groundwork for the franchise's revival. Steve Nash to the Dallas Mavericks. Steve Nash's odyssey to the Dallas Mavericks stands as one of the most compelling and pivotal trades in NBA history, embodying themes of redemption, evolution, and speculation. After being selected 15th overall by the Phoenix Suns in 1996, Nash faced 2 lackluster seasons in Phoenix, with his potential kept largely under wraps. In 1998, the Suns, perhaps too quick to abandon the nurturing of his emerging talent, dealt him to the Mavericks. Unbeknownst to them, they were relinquishing the reins to a future Hall of Famer. In Dallas, Nash thrived, evolving into an artistic leader on the court. Alongside Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Finley, he led one of the most exciting offensive juggernauts in the league. After 6 seasons in Dallas, Nash's journey with the Mavericks concluded unexpectedly as he entered free agency. In 2004, the Mavericks were reluctant to extend a long-term offer to the then 30-year-old Nash, concerned about his age and injury potential. The Phoenix Suns jumped at the chance, providing Nash with a lucrative contract, returning him to his roots. What ensued was truly remarkable. Nash thrived, earning consecutive MVP awards and transforming the sport with his dynamic pick-and-roll play. The deal that saw Nash leave Dallas was a risk that succeeded immensely, yet his exit remains one of the NBA's most poignant, lingering what-if scenarios. This serves as a reminder that within the NBA, even the most shocking trades can conclude in unexpected ways. We appreciate you joining us for the entirety of this story. For additional narratives like this one, tap the card shown until we meet again.